Good morning, students. Today our class is English and we will study a new chapter, Bipin Chowdhury's Lapse of Memory, written by Satyajit Ray. Before study, I want to tell you something that our exam will come very soon within this month, end of this week. So I have to complete my syllabus and so I will give you two subjects each a day when my class will come. So you have to write, take time, but you have to write or complete your workbook. Okay, let's start this story. Summary of the story. This is a harmonious story about a man named Bipin Chowdhury who was made to think that he had completely lost his memory of a certain period in his life. Bipin Chowdhury lived all alone and had few friends. He used to read books to pass his time. He was fond of reading crime stories, ghost stories, and thrillers. Every Monday, he visited a shop in a new market to buy books. One Monday, he found a man looking strangely towards him. He seemed surprised that Bipin Babu had not recognized him. He reminded Bipin of his Ranchi visit in 1958. He introduced himself as Parimal Ghosh and said that he was also with him. But Bipin Babu had never been to Ranchi. He tried to convince Mr. Ghosh of this, but he would not agree. He told Bipin Babu many details of his private life and claimed that he himself had told him all these things. He also narrated some incident which occurred during his stay in Ranchi. Bipin Babu left the shop and tried to forget all about Mr. Ghosh, but to no use. The man seems to know some intimate details like the bag of books, his wife's death, his brother's insanity. Insanity means mad, and so on. But Bipin was dead sure that he had never visited Ranchi in all his life. Parimal Ghosh had also said that Mr. Dinesh Mukherjee was in Ranchi at that time. Bipin Babu knew him well, so he thought of going to him. He then rejected the idea because it looked ridiculous and may even prompt Dinesh to suspect that soundness of his mind. Moreover, Bipin Babu feared that such a query would invite bitter sarcasm from Dinesh, who is known for his ruthless ways with the friends. The next day in his office, the incident again came to his mind. He rang up Dinesh. To his surprise, Dinesh too confirmed his visit to Ranchi. In despair, Bipin Babu slammed the receiver and held his head with his hand. Bipin Babu had reputation for being a tireless worker in his firm, but that day he was feeling tired and giddy. He left his office and came home. When he lay in his bed, his servant told him that Chuni Babu wanted to see him, though at first he refused to meet Chuni Babu. The nagging through about the trip which he had supposedly taken to Ranchi compelled him to seek information about it from Chuni Babu. He hurried down the stairs. He asked Chuni Babu if he remembered something about the trip to Ranchi. Chunilal confirmed the fact in such a manner that it struck him like a hammer. Bipin Babu sighed and shook his head. He decided to visit a specialist, Dr. Paresh Chandra. After listening to his problem, Dr. Chanda said that he must have been to Ranchi, but due to some reasons, the entire incident had slipped out of his mind. He suggested Bipin Babu to go to Ranchi once again. The sight of place might remind him the trip. Bipin Babu, as suggested by the doctor, undertook a visit to Ranchi. He went from place to place, but nothing came to his mind. His head was getting burdened, and he felt more sure that he had never been there. So he fell down unconscious and came to himself only in the evening when he was discovered by a group of picnickers. Next morning, Bipin Babu was back home. He was totally hopeless. He realized that he was going to lose the balance of his mind. He immediately called Dr. Chanda. Then, after a shower, he got into bed. Just then, he received a letter from Chunilal. After reading it, he came to understand the entire episode. It was all planned by Chunilal, who wanted to punish him for his unfeeling behavior. Now all the tension of Bipin Babu was gone. So when Dr. Chanda came, he invited a funny excuse. He said that he was fine. He had spent for him only for a painkiller and his hip was in pain due to fall in Ranchi. So here this story is completed. Very interesting story. You read textbook, then you will understand more advancedly. I will give you homework in workbook. You complete it. Okay. See you in next class.